Hello, beautiful listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Bring Me to Life podcast. My name is Selomon, and today I will be interviewing Hillis Pugh, who is an author, a poet, and a spiritual guide. We'll be discussing his book, Awaken with Gratitude. You can learn how gratitude can be a stepping stone to the awakening process and how you can find gratitude in everyday things. He also shares an exercise/meditation that you can literally do anywhere at any time. It's a really inspiring interview, and I am very honored to be able to present it to you. Before that, I wanted to say thank you to everyone for listening to the podcast. Your support means so much to us, especially those in Canada. Canada has been one of the top listeners for the past month. So thank you so much. Mostly our listeners come from the U.S., so thank you, United States of America, for tuning in. And to all other countries, there are a number of countries that tune in, so thank you. Thank you so much. If you enjoy our show and you would like to help support us financially so that we can continue to do these episodes, we have a Patreon with some really great perks at www.patreon.com/pbm2l. That's PBM, the number 2L. Even if you sign up for just $1 a month, it helps out a whole lot with broadcasting fees, getting the right programs, etc., stuff like that. So it really is appreciated. For anybody who is unable to support us financially, you can help out by sharing this episode on your favorite social media, and it's a great help. So thanks once again for tuning in, and we'll be right back with Hillis Pugh.
For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning, and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Welcome to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of that, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Awakening humanity to spirituality and higher consciousness.
And welcome to the show, Hillis.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for having me on your Bring Me to Life podcast. Such a joy to be with you today.
Definitely. When I checked out your website, and it's a very beautiful website, and a lot of what you're doing is along the lines of what our mission here is with the podcast, Awakening Humanity to Spirituality and Higher Consciousness. So I think it's great to have you. For our listeners, could you introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you're doing?
Well, my name is Hillis Pugh. I am a writer, poet, psychic medium, and all things in between. And you can find out more about, what I do in my spare time on my website, which is hillispugh.com. You guys can go there and find out all about me, my background, my history, and how I started on this path of gratitude and spirituality.
Very good. And, I think gratitude is a really great topic. And actually, on my blog, at the time of our recording, I just published a blog about 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago on gratitude. So, I think it is a relevant topic. So how would you describe gratitude?
Gratitude is definitely the first step. It's the stepping stone to the awakening process, because with gratitude, it's a reflection upon the challenges that we have come through, and us taking a pause in that moment to appreciate the contrast, the struggles that we've gone through, to appreciate and to know our own individual strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think gratitude is something that can easily transcend a lot of pain and negativity. So I'm just curious, how did you find out about the power of gratitude?
The power of gratitude, I can definitely say, was a journey of self, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this journey started back in 2008. And back in 2008 was a year of a true realization. And I say that because, the previous year, back in 2007, that's when I lost, my business, relationship, everything that I defined my life to be was gone, within that year.
Mm-hmm.
And within me stepping out and asking for assistance, and having the courage to ask for assistance, because, my personal history, my background is one who's never really had to ask for help. And if I had to ask for help, I was ashamed to ask for. It's like, I don't want to ask for any help. Why should I ask for help? I can, I've done this far, on my own. I've gone this far doing very well, and now I have to ask for help. That's unlike me. That's uncharacteristic of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with no other choice, having to ask for help from friends and family to help them see me through, emotionally and financially, and to just help to reassure me, to give me courage, to give me strength, for helping me to look inside myself, to see that, okay, you have everything that you need. We're just here to supplement your energy until you are able to really come back and stand firmly on your own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was November, Thanksgiving of 2008 is when I realized, because this is the day that we generally give thanks, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
the day that America celebrates and give thanks for all things. And it was in that moment when I realized that, my family has always been there for me. My friends have always been there for me. It just wasn't, this one special case. It was my whole life. And with that realization, it was like my stepping stone to, like, through all the adversity, through all the challenges that I've faced, I've came through each and every one of them. And certainly not unscathed. There have been some bumps and bruises and scrapes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's then that I realized, it's like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what gratitude is. This is what, appreciation is. And those who are listening, there is a difference between gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude is appreciation, what you have come through. Gratitude is reflecting upon what has already happened in your life. Appreciation is for what's happening in that moment and for what is to come, and it's appreciating, yourself in that moment, and it's appreciating who you are to be and everything that's around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful story. And I think, something that a lot of us go through is struggling to ask for help, and using gratitude, you can kind of overcome that. And I think it is important that we do allow people to help us. And it's important to find a balance between giving and receiving. If you give too much, you can give away too much of your energy. So to find a good balance between that, I think is pretty important. And there's a show that I talk about it sometimes on this podcast. It's called the Flash, and it's on the CW. And on that, he was a young boy who got struck by lightning and got these powers. And at first, he didn't want to ask for any kind of help, and eventually he learned his lessons on how important it is to ask for help, especially when you need it, because not one superhero can protect the whole world. There's a group of them that will come together. So I think that's a wonderful story that you told about how you found gratitude. And so let's talk a little bit about your book that you have. It's called Awaken With Gratitude. What would you say to those who are interested in this book? It's obviously about gratitude, but could you explain a little bit more about what's included in this book?
Well, my book, Awaken With Gratitude, covers a wide array of topics. And the birth of this book came out of this story that I just mentioned about Thanksgiving of 2008. And the follow-up to that is when I came to the realization that my family and friends was always there, that I sent out an email to all of them, just thanking them for the love and support that they have given me over the past years. And with that very first email, it started out as a blog and just weekly postings about things to be grateful for and just finding gratitude in the everyday. And with that, the book kind of wrote itself, because it's basically a collection of true-to-life moments to where I share my personal perspective and observations about life in general, to where we can find gratitude in the everyday. And some of the topics that you will find in Awaken With Gratitude is such as things as like your identity and success and happiness, and just understanding the challenges that you face every day, as well as forgiveness and just healing and understanding who it is that you really are. Because with gratitude and appreciation for who you are and what you have come through, you get to find the inner depths of who you are. You get to the root and the core of your identity to truly understand that there's more to you than what we give off or what we want other people to see. And most of us know that there's more to us. It's just what we allow others to see, what they perceive us to be. And so this book would help people to give more insight to who they are and to have gratitude for the small things, because it's easy to have gratitude for the big things of life. It's just when we stop in the smaller moments to have gratitude for the smaller things, the ones that go unnoticed.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you're talking about with finding gratitude in the everyday. So what could you use an example of this, finding gratitude in the everyday?
Definitely, and actually it's an exercise that I do. You can call it a thank you meditation or a thank you rampage, or whenever you have time to do it. And I find my time in the shower to do this little meditation. And I start off by saying, thank you for this toothbrush and toothpaste to brush my teeth. Or thank you for this hot water to take a shower with this morning. Thank you for the towel to dry off with. Thank you for the soap to clean my body today. So it's those little things that we particularly take for granted, that we don't have the appreciation or gratitude for, because when you stop to really think about it and the contrast in the world that we live in today, you think about how Western civilization has a little bit easier than some of the Eastern civilizations. Some of the third world countries that don't have access to some of the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And when you look about it in that contrast, then yeah, it is easy to appreciate it from that point of view. But also, when you look at the contrast here in America, or even in your own life, there are people that have things that others don't that they wish they had. Or people, or even in your own life, where a couple of years ago, or maybe even not that long ago, where something happened in your life, and it's like, okay, wow, that happened, and now it's like you are made aware of it. So it's the smaller things that we have to stop and really appreciate to take notice.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can experience that through, say, if somebody hurt their thumb and they weren't able to use their thumbs for a few weeks, and then after that few weeks they're able to use their thumb again, and I think they can realize how important it was. And just we do kind of, I think, take things for granted, especially if it's something that happens every day and we sort of just overlook it. But I think that is a great exercise and a great meditation to raise people's vibrations and to, I don't know, just bring healing into their lives, because I think gratitude is very healing for us.
It is, definitely. And I love that analogy too about the thumb, because I never really thought about how much different life would be if I didn't have a thumb.
Yeah. I think animals sometimes are a little jealous that we have thumbs, because you don't realize how much they do. You need thumbs to hold anything. So appreciate your thumbs, everybody. They do a lot of work. So
yes, they do. I mean, now you really have me think about it. I'm like, wow, yeah. I mean, you use your thumb for your cell phone, and me being a writer, I was old-fashioned. I used pen and paper, so it's like, yeah, use my thumb to hold my pen and paper. I'm like, okay, all right, what else? I mean, opening the door, with keys, and zipping up my coat, and buttoning my shirt. So yeah, thumbs are very useful. Appreciate your thumbs, like Christopher said.
Very cool, very cool. So how long have you been doing this gratitude exercise for?
Oh my goodness, I've been, when I first started off, I could say I was doing it consistently every day for at least a year or two. And then when I feel the need now to really raise my vibration, I just tune into it and I just do it. Because I've been writing about gratitude and spirituality for close to 7 years now. And now it just seems like everything it's come second nature to me. There's no second guessing of it. But, when I was, first in it, it was a conscious effort for at least, for the first year, at least almost 2 years.
All right, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Because if it became easier, just more natural, because I developed a habit of going for a run during like the first part of the day. So in the morning I'll go for a run and I'll do some mantras in my head and stuff. And I've noticed that after doing that for a few months, I'm starting to say it in my head without even making an effort to do it. So I think, when people develop the habit of gratitude, like you said, it becomes second nature, and then they're just kind of sending gratitude to everything without even realizing that it's happening.
Indeed, and sometimes you don't even have to say the words. It's all in the vibration and how you feel. And sometimes you don't even have to say thank you for, to the bush. You can just say thank you, and the universe knows that you're appreciating what it is in that moment that you're using or whatever your attention is on.
So what effect do you think that having this gratitude in the everyday things, what effect do you think that has on people's lives in a more expanded perception, and like in other areas of their lives? How do you think that affects them?
I can definitely say that it affects them in numerous ways. And I mean, you can definitely tell the difference in one's energy when there is a lack of gratitude or appreciation. You can see how they don't care for, or how they care for certain objects or things. But when someone definitely has gratitude in their life, it is definitely in the way, in their mannerisms, and how they carry themselves and how they present themselves to the world. Their energy is different. You can tell in one's energy and how they are affected by appreciating what they have and having gratitude for the challenges and the contrasts that they have experienced in their life. So it's the energy that speaks to you. I mean, if you're tuned in to the energy of the individual or vice versa, you can definitely feel it. I mean, you can definitely feel there's a genuineness in that person of who they are and what they appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the universe works in a way that when you use more gratitude, it's sort of like a gift back to the universe, because if you think about it in your own life, if you give somebody a gift and they don't show any gratitude, it feels really bad personally. And so when you give somebody a gift and they show gratitude and they give you a smile and a hug and say thank you so much, it is kind of like a gift back to yourself, I think. So I think that works the same way with the universe. If the universe gives you a gift and you show gratitude, it makes the universe feel much better and maybe even more willing to give more. Do you think that is the case, that if you show gratitude?
Oh no, that's so the case, and I can follow that up with an example. But I always tell people that when you express gratitude for whatever it is that you have experienced in your life, and the universe sees that you're expressing that gratitude, but more importantly, the universe feels the expression of gratitude that's coming from you, that's emanating from your soul, that the universe will give you more of what it is that you are appreciating there in that moment. And the example that I want to share with everyone is that there was a point in my life where I had, a job where I didn't feel validated, but I loved what I did just the same. And as, with me, having to express gratitude and appreciation for this job that I had, but yet on the same token, I wanted more validation. I wanted to be noticed for my work. And that wasn't happening. And so what happened was that I ended up, looking for another job. And to make a long story short, I ended up with 2 jobs. One where I was stuck in the job that I loved and appreciated, but not feeling validated, but had this opportunity that opened up to me because, I felt that people could recognize what it is that I bring to the table, and that's what it was. They were able to recognize my value. And so when I put in my notice to leave my former employer, it's like, well, you can't leave. And I'm like, why not? It's like, well, whatever you want to stay is yours. So basically I had a blank check to stay at my previous employer, which I took, because that's all I wanted, was to be noticed and to be valued.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is important. Very, very, very important. That, it's just, I think it's a good thing to do. And for people who have a hard time accepting gifts, like just giving that gratitude back is a reciprocal gift. So, they receive something by giving you something when you show gratitude.
Actually, I did a whole segment on Facebook Live about giving and receiving on Sunday. Because I wanted to talk about the importance of it, because it is important. It's important for us to really understand that we are the power, that we are the creators, that we are the energy that manifests all things when it shows up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that gratitude is so powerful, and it's like a hammer, in your spiritual toolkit. You can use it to to uplift your vibration, to transcend feelings of loneliness, feelings of lack, feelings of whatever it might be. So simply using gratitude is so important. And I think for a majority of at least people in our country and mostly around the world, that they do overlook some things that they could be grateful for. They just are so used to it. I personally spent a few months living on the streets in California in 2012, and living on the streets is a very intense experience, because you can't just go home when it gets cold out or if it's raining. You can't just go and brush your hair. You can't just go and brush your teeth. You can't even just go to the bathroom without having difficulties. So when I got back into civilization, or when I got back to living in a house and having electricity and stuff like that, it was so much easier for me to be grateful for that stuff, because I was able to live without it for a while. So I think that that's a great way to find gratitude in everyday things, is by trying to go without something for a while, and then coming back and being like, oh wow, that I really appreciate that, or I'm so grateful for that now.
That's I love your story and you being able to look at it from that perspective. I really do. And like you said, when you go without something, and so especially something that you're so used to, something that you, I don't want to say ignore, but something that you're not focused upon because it's already there. It is, I don't want to say like a natural gift. For example, the kids that are growing up today, they're born into this technology. Okay, and for people who are older, who was born in like the 70s, I'm not going to give my age, but kind of did. I don't care, but I'm proud of my age. But someone who's of my age, they weren't born into this technology, and you have to readjust and realign your perspective to like, okay, what is it that I have access to? What is it that can I do to do and to give? And there have been times where I've gone away on spiritual retreats on the weekends, like a weekend spiritual retreat. And I've, in the wilderness, without cell phones. And I'm like, I don't have my cell phone. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm like freaking out. But it's like, after like maybe 4 or 5 hours have passed, knowing I cannot use my phone, I'm like, okay, I've gotten used to it. I've adjusted. And so when I come back to, technology, I'm like, I kind of missed my phone, but kind of didn't at the same time. So it's like when you have those little nuances, not saying that homelessness is a nuance, but the things that, we see day in and day out, like fresh fruit or, cell phones, for example, just those little things that we expect. And I think that's what it is. We expect so much of our daily life. We we expect so much to be given to us. We expect so much to be handed to us. We expect to receive so much in our daily life that we forget sometimes what it is to be without the little things that make the difference in our experience.
Yeah, and one thing I did learn out there was, I learned how to be grateful for just the moment, like not even an object or anything, just being grateful for living in the moment, and that, I think that makes it so I don't know, easy to not be bored, but just because I don't need anything, I can sit there and be grateful for having a roof, or just be grateful for breathing. I think we keep talking about the little things, and I think there's a reason that, when you continue to be grateful for the little things, you start to open up to life. You start to see life in a new color, and it's like a fresh breath when you begin to become grateful for just the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And Christopher, it's interesting that you bring up homelessness because recently I was in Australia, and to see, and what brought my full attention was to see how the homeless people are in Australia. The contrast is so interesting because here in the States you see, people who are, on the street and may have a cardboard box or a sleeping bag, maybe a pet with them, maybe not, and just their quality of living isn't that great, and you can expect that each person that is homeless has a different setup and a different experience and a different reason why they became homeless. But in Australia, there was a consistency there. It was every single homeless person had a pillow, a quilt, or a blanket, and a pet, and like maybe a bag with some food or some food next to them. And I'm like, I wonder how the system is here to where every single person here, it is consistently the same in their setup. I mean, I didn't go up to one and ask them anything about them because I was more so a tourist. I was there for work. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't have the time to like really sit or to talk with someone I would have liked to, because it's interesting to me and how that is. And then, also in Paris, where I was some years ago, and so I don't want to, lack of a better term, they had like little camps, where you would see they would be out in the main city during the day, but then they would have these little camps that they would go back to at night, like little tents. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is interesting in how we treat people every day. And it's like, what's our expectancy? What do we expect, or how do we expect them and people to be and act and do? And I think when it comes down to life, when it comes down to everything that we experience, it has to do with our level of expectancy. What is it that we expect? What is it that we have come accustomed to? Some people, with the division and separation of classes is the best example. I mean, because you have people that are on the very high who expect a certain way to live. And you have the ones in the middle that expect a certain way to live, and the ones on the lower end that expect a certain way to live, but they always desire and thrive to do, to be, and to have better. And it's through that in which they appreciate, which allows them to break through, to end their story, to end their cycle, to be, do, and have better. And because they expect more, they expect better. So it comes out to, I think, expectancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so for those who are in more difficult situations, is there any tips that you had for them to how to stay grateful? Maybe just beyond the small things. Is there something that they can do to feel that gratitude?
For those who are listening who are in not so appeasing situations, I say to you that you are the creator of your experience. And for you to create a better experience is to appreciate what has happened, to look at the contrast that has happened in your life and be grateful for it, because it is through this contrast that can bring about the greatest change, the greatest gift. And I know that may be difficult to see, to understand, and to feel, but I'm only speaking from experience. when I say this is that when we appreciate the little things, when we appreciate the contrast, when we simply say thank you, even if it's someone holding the door open for us, even if it's, us having electricity, even if it's, having a way to communicate, whatever it is that you find the most difficult, the most challenging, and whatever you feel the most ungrateful for, focus on that and give that the most love you can, because that's the only way you can open up and allow yourself to receive more of a new expectancy, a new gift, and a new way to experience your life now.
Great, and I think that's like using the law of attraction to kind of build the life that you want to live.
Yes, and gratitude is definitely the doorway into manifesting, into bringing more of what you want into your life. And I can only speak from experience. I mean, and this is what I know, this is what I feel, this is what I've witnessed.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Hillis. It's been a great topic. I've really enjoyed this, and I know you do a lot of other things, so we'll have to get you on again to talk about some of the other things that you do.
Definitely, I can't wait. I mean, I feel like I know we had about 45 minutes, but it feels like only like 10.
Yeah, talking about topics like this I think is really wonderful, and I'm just grateful to have you on here. Are there any shameless plugs or links that you want people to know about?
Sure. For anyone who's watching, they could visit HillisPugh.com, and that's HILLIS, for all news and promotions. And those that are listening now, I'm having a holiday special on my book, Awaken With Gratitude, 1 week only. My book will be available on Amazon. You can find it through my website for 99 cents all week from December 4th through December 9th. And you can also visit my website to find out more about my Awaken With Gratitude seminars. It's a 4-hour seminar to where I will guide everyone into more of appreciation and explain to you how gratitude and the law of attraction work together. So if anyone is in the New York area on January 21st, I will be teaching one here at the Edgar Casey Center. Visit my website, HillisPugh.com, and that's HILLISPUGH.com for all news and info about my book and seminars.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on here, Hillis. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Christopher. It's been wonderful.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for shining on with us.